star friends. It's Danny with Sagittarius. I'm going to do a reading for Leo today. And I think this is going to be my first Leo reading that I've done. I have a lot of Leos in my family and friends. I actually can't remember how much I have in my chart. But, anyways, we're also going to do a new style of reading that I haven't done very much. It's called the horseshoe. So, every card I pull up is going to represent something very specific to you. The interesting thing about your reading, I've already pulled the cards and meditated on it and made sure I got a clear message as to what they were trying to say. The interesting part is that your first two cards are going to represent your past and your present. And both of those were major arcana cards. And they're very contradicting. So that was interesting. Let's get into it. The first card is going to represent your past. And you got the Wheel of Fortune. This card is all about adapting to changes, especially when they're out of your control. You can imagine this little witch as the universe, and she's just spinning the wheel of what's going on for you. She's spinning the wheel of your destiny, and you have no control over it. You received it in an upright position, which means there's something that happened in your past that changed everything for you, and it was a real defining moment. Maybe you moved somewhere, maybe you got a new job, maybe you got married. There was some major defining moment for you where everything happened and it was a little bit out of your control and you adapted very well. What's interesting about that is that's your past. But now we have a card that represents your present, and you receive the judgment, but it's in a reversal. When we see the judgment in a reversal, this is representing you your unwillingness to embrace change. There's someone uh playing the trumpet calling you out in the original cards, the original pictures. It's an angel blowing a trumpet, and she's literally waking people out of the dead. Like she's calling them to serve their higher purpose. There's some sort of change happening in your life right now that you are resisting. You don't want it to happen. And that's interesting because in your past, you had a real defining moment where you were able to adapt to change. And so I think the spirits and the divine put these two cards together for you, Leo, because they wanted you to reflect on how you have adapted in the past and how it ended up actually being for your benefit. Now we have a card here which is going to represent hidden influences in your life. And you received the Queen of Wands, but she is also in a reversal. Upright, she's a very confident, fiery individual. But in a reversal, she's all the negative things about the Queen of Wands. She's bossy, she's vain, she has a temper. So, this is not your authentic self, Leo. And I think in response to these changes that are happening in your life, you are responding in a way that is not authentic to you. And I think if you take a step back and really observe your behavior and your responses to this, you'll realize that that's not who you truly are on the inside. So, those are your hidden influences. The challenges that you're facing, you received the Four of Swords. Swords in tarot represent thoughts and ideas and knowledge. This witch is sleeping on it. She's taking a moment to rest. So, the challenges that you are having is that you're not taking time to really sit and heal and reflect because swords can also represent emotional wounds. So, you need to take some time to really sit and rest and reflect on how, maybe some of these hidden influences. And this might not even be you, Leo. This could also be other people. Other people could be acting bossy towards you, or they could be um, being condescending. There's some sort of hidden influence in your life right now that is embodiment of that energy, that reversed Queen of Wands. And so the challenge that you're facing is that you need to rest and quit trying to fight this energy, this Queen of Wands energy. Quit trying to fight that. Take a moment to take a break and really relax. And then we have a card here, which is going to represent the potential. So this is what you could potentially, well, because you got the 6 of swords, this is what you could potentially do. And this is also part of advice for you in tarot. This is the 6 of swords, and in this picture, we see a woman taking all of her thoughts, her ideas, her knowledge, and she's moving on. She's not leaving alone though. She's leaving with this other support system. And this card is really representing allowing yourself to move on from people and things that no longer serve you. This reversed judgment card in your present, this major arcana card that is representing the fact that you need to embrace change, whether it feels good or not, is telling you that you need to let that go. You need to move on. You need to move to higher ground. This no longer serves you. There's a reason why this change is happening, and you just need to learn to embrace that, as difficult as that probably is. Okay, now we have the advice. This card represents the advice that divine is giving you, and it's the 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Pentacles is about working really hard to refine a craft. The Pentacles are the material world. So if this has to do with a relationship that's changing or a career change, this is the advice the divine is giving you, and that is to focus really hard on either learning a new craft or something in the material world that needs your focus. If that's, a new job, or working hard to get a new apartment, or even just maybe redecorating. This is something in your material world that needs your attention and that will make you feel better, and that's the advice that you're being given. Now, this last card is going to represent your likely outcome. And it's going to feel not too good when I tell you the meaning of this card, but don't leave yet, because you have 2 oracle cards that are going to really pull this all together into a more positive light. You received, for your likely outcome, the Queen of Cups in a reversal. This is representing someone who is just emotionally overwhelmed, emotionally drained. She is neglecting taking care of herself. So, Leo, I do see that there's this change that's happening, and it's bringing on a great surge of an emotional response from you. And that is really putting you in your feels. There's this need for you, or this, I think, the advice that you should take is working on a craft or working on something in your material realm that you could really improve to make yourself feel better. But there is this likely outcome of you focusing on other people's needs above yours, putting them above yours. So that's not the best card to receive for your potential outcome, but we did pull 2 oracle cards, and one of them was new moon in Aquarius, bring love into the situation. So if this Queen of Wands in a reversal, this hidden influence in your life, is representing somebody else who is bossy or vain or has a really bad temper, to bring love into that situation and to allow yourself to rest, to allow yourself to move on and to embrace this new change. Because even though it doesn't feel like it right now, if you take a moment to really reflect on that wheel of fortune that you had in the past, that moment when everything changed and you just had to adapt, if you reflect on that, you'll realize that it was actually all okay in the end. And that's why I'm going to tell you your next oracle card was the abundance card. To keep a positive mindset, manifest exactly what you want, and gratitude and bliss. And I know it sounds really cheesy, but I mean, we've all been there, right? Where we feel like, why is this all happening to me? Why is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve this? And I used to read self help books and watch articles, and they all would say the same thing: to remain thankful and to practice the things that I am grateful for. And I think that's also why you received this 8 of Pentacles, as your advice card. is there are some things in your life right now that you could be really grateful for and really thankful for, and to put your energy and time into that, and to also be leaving these people and situations that do not serve you, and to this likely outcome of, you know, putting others above you and letting them kind of take from your cup so much. You can bring love into a situation with boundaries. And this situation, like I said, doesn't feel like it, but it will eventually lead to abundance. So now, if you guys could do me a favor and please make a comment below which planet you have Leo in your chart, and also your location and the time. You don't have to give me a city if you don't want to, but a state and a time. It does help me a lot. It helps me when I do the next reading to manifest the energy on the people who are watching. And as always, please like and subscribe. If you guys are interested, I do have a website. It's sagittaro.com. I have handmade candles and little things like these earrings on there. But please like and subscribe, and if I get enough feedback or viewers, I'm happy to keep doing Leo. So thanks, guys.